Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a full face of makeup under 100 Rand. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. Starting off with primer, I have this Essence Poreless Partner Primer. So this is 94 Rand 95, and this I'm just going to apply in the center of my face, just because it's fairly drying and I get really oily in my T-zone anyway, so that is not too bad for that. It is blurring, but it's not pore filling at all. Like, you can still see all my pores. For an affordable option, I think it's okay. It doesn't feel too silicone-y. It just dries down very, very matte. Then the second primer, I don't know, lately I've just been double priming all the time. So the second primer I have here is the Smudge Correcting and Blur primer, and this one is actually only $59.99. So this one I'm just going to put on the rest of my face. I have put skincare on already, but I just like the idea of primer, so I always prime. But this primer is more silicone-y. It has a slight slip to it, not even slight, it's got a very slippy feel. I don't find it too color correcting, but it does give you a smooth base to apply your foundation on, especially if you are using a more matte foundation. I think this is a pretty good option. I don't like a lot from Smudge, as you know, but this is not the worst product from there at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some tape to my eyes. I just use sellotape and I put it on the back of my hand to get it less sticky, and then put it on. Moving on to eyeshadow primer. So I know a lot of people do not use eyeshadow primers, and I haven't seen too many options in South Africa. However, this one from Signature is pretty good. Again, I don't like a lot from Signature. A lot of their products are very gimmicky, and it feels like not too much thought goes into it, but this one is pretty good. I've been using it for ages now and I'm almost done. It's up to there, and it's kind of like a concealer consistency, but it also blanks out your eyebrows. It blanks out your eyelids as well, because I have some darkness and veins, as you can see, and it blanks it out really nicely to give you a nice clean slate so that your eyeshadow goes on evenly, as well as it doesn't crease at all. So naturally, for eyeshadows, I have these two options, and they're both 49 Rand 95. It is the Passion Pro quints, and I got this one in Forest. So this one has 2 mattes and then 3 shimmers, and then I have this one in Tantalizing Turquoise, and it is all shimmers. Today I'll be mixing both palettes just so I can give you a look at what both of them can potentially do. But 49 Rand 95 I think is really, really good, especially for the price. It's not the best eyeshadow I've ever tried in my life, but for 50 Rand it is much better than even the Essence that I've tried recently. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this brown over here, and I'm going to blend that through the crease. I don't know why I keep using these tapes recently, but I've just really liked the shape that it gives me, and because my eyes are already uneven, it just gives me a little bit more symmetry to work with. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this green, and I'm going to place that all over the lid. So I like to use a flat dense brush for this, and then after that I will just go ahead and blend it out with the brush that we used the brown on. I'm not adding any additional product, I'm just blending the two colors together. Next I'm going to go in with this middle shade over here, and I'm just going to pop that on my finger, and I'm going to do this just on the first half of the eye. There's a bit of fallout, but I feel like it's expected with one of these, well, with a glittery shadow anyway. Grabbing a small angled brush, I'm going to dip into this dark green. With this one, you do have to wet it, so you just get less fallout and a lot more pigmentation. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my setting spray. You just get a lot more pigmentation like that, and it's way more opaque. And then I'll go ahead and finish the rest of the eyes close to the end of the video, but for now this is what we've created, and I think it's really, really pretty. For 49 Rand I think it's amazing. So removing the eye tapes, that's a closer look. For mascara, I have two options again. I have both by Essence. I feel like the mascaras from Essence are really affordable. Some of them are kind of hit and miss, but it depends what you're looking for in your mascara. Today we're going to go in with this one. It is the Lash Princess in the volumizing, and this over time does flake on me, which is not my favorite, but overall I think it's a really good mascara. It doesn't smudge as much as the rest of them do, but it definitely does flake. So I'm going to go ahead and add a coat. Oh, and this is 82 Rand. All Essence's mascaras that I saw online were under 100 Rand. So great option for that. Then I'm just going to jump off camera and add some false lashes, which are, I don't have the actual box with me, but this is what they look like. And as you can see, there's one already missing because I use them as half lashes, and these I got from Chinatown for only 25 Rand for 2 pairs. So for me it lasts really long because I only use half lashes, so I think that's a really good option. And I think you can trust fake eyelashes from Chinatown. I wouldn't apply anything else. I actually watched a documentary called Rotten on Netflix. Do yourself a favor and go watch that, and it shows you about all the counterfeit makeup and stuff and how it like contains feces and horse urine. So definitely won't be buying any makeup from them, but these lashes are all right, and so are their sponges. So definitely go check this out if you have a Chinatown near you. But I'm just gonna apply them off camera, and then we'll come back and move on to the face. And look, they just really wispy. It's not the mascara doing this to my eyes. It's definitely corner lashes, so just know that. Moving on to foundation. So I have two options for this. One is slightly more expensive, but this one I discovered a couple weeks ago, and this is the Passion Labs Photo Finish Liquid Foundation. Let me just tell you, most of Passion Labs foundation products I do not trust. I tried one which I'll pop a picture up of, and literally when I squeezed it out it was just oil and it smelled like paint thinner. The pigment wouldn't like mix properly, so I had to like squish it together. I've done a short about this, squish it together and move it around, try to get it to mix, but it would still separate from the pigment, and it was absolutely disgusting. I refused to put it on my face. They do also have like a new one that they have out, which is like a bottle with a pump, but I don't trust it, so I didn't try it. However, my sister did buy this one, and it is 45 Rand 95, and this seems really, really good. It smells really nice, and you can play around with the coverage. If you use a sponge, you can get a nice light wash of coverage, and if you use a brush, you can definitely get more coverage. The other option I have, which I'll pop up over here because I don't have it with me, it's over there in the drawer. It is the Essence Hydro Hero Tinted Moisturizer. That one's really, really good. That one does retail for 105 Rand 95. So a little bit more expensive, just depending what you want. That one you can play around with more, and it's much more like less fuss, because you can just apply it with your hands, or you can use a sponge, or you can use a brush, and it just looks so nice. It's like a fuss-free product. Anyway, so this one I got in the shade, is there even a shade? I don't think so. For some reason I don't see a shade on here, but it looks like that. Like the packaging isn't terrible, and it has just a normal squeezy tube, and I like to I'm just going to use the top of this today, and I'm going to use like that much, and I'm going to apply this with a brush today, just because the eyes are a little bit more dramatic and I don't want too much of a light coverage product. But it smells really, really nice. It kind of smells like slightly perfumed, but nothing too unbearable or too crazy. I've used this now maybe 4 or 5 times, and I haven't had a reaction to it yet, so the fragrance doesn't affect me at all, and I have very sensitive skin, so yeah, I'm really happy with this. The color range does run a little bit orange, so just be aware of that. I think you can only get it at Discam, so you'll have to go in and test the shades anyway. Well, I would recommend that you do that, because I've seen a few of their products now, just like the shade is a bit funny. So I'm just going to take my sponge as usual and just pop over all of this, just to pick up any excess and further push this into the skin. I do understand that this video is not targeted to like international, but honestly I just thought I'd do a video concentrated on South Africa just because I am here and a lot of my viewers are from here too, so I thought I'd pop this in and just show you what's available on a budget. Next we'll move into cream bronzer. So this one is a little bit because it's from She Glam, but I haven't found anything in South Africa under 100 Rand for bronzer or cream bronzer, and this is the She Glam Color and Sculpt Stick. You'll see the picture that I'm popping up here. The packaging is different, but they updated their packaging from when I bought this, and this retails for 64 Rand and it is in the shade Cacao. So I'm just going to use the bronzing side today. So I'm just going to take my same foundation brush, and I usually like to pick it up, and you can see the pigment over there, and just pop that on the cheeks. I find that it works much better like this. I was drawing it on my skin, and unfortunately it's a little bit dry and will tug on your skin like that. So I suggest just popping it on a brush, or I'll show you on a sponge. You can I just squeeze the butt of my sponge like that, and then just pop that on the cheek as well. You get more of a diffused look with a sponge for sure. It does look really nice, and it's quite luminous as well. It's not very matte, so it looks really, really good. For cream blush, I have this cream blush stick from Scarlet Hill, which is available at Mr. Price, and this one is 69 Rand 99, which is by far the cheapest one I've found so far, and it is so pigmented. I got mine in the shade, I can't see it on here now, but I'm sure it's called Black Currant or Blackberry, and it does smell like berry. It actually smells like the Barbie makeup that I used to get when I was little. So how I use this is I just take some, and because it's quite a stiff formula, so I wipe some on my hand like that just to like slightly warm it up, and then I grab my same foundation slash contour brush and I disperse it like that. You can also use a sponge, but I just prefer this method myself, and then I pop that on the cheeks, and look at that. Crazy. It's so pigmented, and it lasts all day. Look at that color, and that's only one little swipe. So I'm just going to take it over my nose because I have a lot on my brush, so we can do one of these moments. But very pigmented, and 100% worth the price. I didn't even use all of it that I wiped on my hand, so it's really good, and it still peeks through once we powder down, which I will show you in a sec. So lastly for cream products, I have my concealer, and this is the Catrice Clean ID High Coverage Concealer. It looks like that. I really like this. It's very creamy, but the color range is actually pretty ridiculous. This is shade 10, and it is in neutral sand, and this was the darkest shade that they had at Discam, so not the best for shade range. This one is 99 Rand 95, so on the cusp of 100, but still really good, and it's really hydrating and smoothing under my eyes. The other option I do also have is I've used it a few times on my channel actually, and that is the Smudge Concealer. Another one of Smudge products that I really love and enjoy is their concealers. The color range is just right. Like, they have neutral shades, they have orangey shades, they have pinky shades, which I think is really helpful. As you can see, that is slightly too light for my skin, but it's still so radiant. I love it. Just to balance out the rest of the face, I'm just gonna add a little bit on the sides of my nose, middle of my nose, forehead and chin, just so that the middle of my face is kind of lighter than the outside, so that it doesn't look too strange that my under eyes are so stark. So this is what the concealer looks like close up, and I think it's worth the whole 100 Rand that they charge for it. So good. And that's before it is powdered, so I am looking very dewy. I'm also really hot, so that doesn't help. I just went ahead and powdered my under eyes just because I don't have anything for that, and I need something a little bit more brightening or translucent. We don't have a lot of options of affordable under 100 Rand setting powders, at least not what I've tried. Maybelline, L'Oreal, all of those brands are quite expensive. I've tried a couple of powders from Catrice that I really didn't like, tried a couple of other powders from Essence that I really didn't like and just didn't work for me. This is actually a powder foundation, and I sometimes use it as just a finishing powder as well, because it is really blurring and long lasting. So this is the 16-hour Cover and Last Powder Foundation by Essence. This retails for 113 Rand, which is the cheapest one I found. I cheated a little bit on this one, but it is really good. Like, one of my favorites that I've tried so far. I don't know if you can see, but I've made quite a significant dent in this, and it's not even part of my project pan. So taking a very fluffy brush, I just coat my brush in it. It is quite loosely packed, so you need to be careful, but I just pop this all over the face, and it also evens out my foundation as well. That is slightly too light for me. I've seen people use this as an under eye powder in a lighter shade, and maybe I should try do that, because it is really nice powder. Like, I really enjoy it myself. But that's the face set, and as you can see, it still lets the glow out from underneath, but it's set and it's smooth, so that's the most important thing. For powder bronzer, I have another Passion Pro product. It seems like a theme, but like I said, their powder products are really affordable and they do work fairly well. However, I have to mention that they do have mica and talc in them, so if you are against those ingredients, it's not for you. But this one was 49.95 Rand again. So if you have like even 200 Rand, you can at least buy 4 of these products a month and build such a nice collection. And they have so many options of eyeshadows that, I mean, if you want to experiment with things, it'd be so easy just to buy a few of those and experiment with different colors. So I don't know, I think it's really affordable. It's just they don't have the most ethical like ingredients. So they're not tested on animals, but they're not vegan. So just so you know as well. But I do really like this. It's got a slight shimmer through it, and again, it is very loosely packed, so you have to be careful. And I just use it on a very fluffy brush just so I can get like a nice diffused look. So for blush, I have 2 options, only because I know a lot of people like this blush, but I don't. So I thought I'd just mention it, so if you do like it, obviously you know it's affordable. But it is the Essence The Blush, and mine is in 30 Breathtaking. I've mentioned it before, it's not my favorite blush. It fades so quickly, it's not very pigmented. Maybe I got the wrong shade, I can admit that, but I love like peachy pink blushes, which is what I went for, but this just doesn't work for me. This one is 64.95 Rand, which is really affordable. But the blush I'm going to be using today, again, I'm cheating a little bit, but only by like 10 Rand, and that is the Palladio Matte Blush. Mine is in the shade Toasted Apricots. Love it. This is so good for only 110 Rand, but I really prefer this one, so I thought I'd use this and not like bend what I liked just for the video, because everybody knows I do not like it, so why lie? Giving that a swirl, and I'm just gonna pop it over that pink blush. But because there's a pink blush underneath, as you can see, it appears more pigmented, but it is pigmented and it lasts, which is my biggest thing. And then we'll move on to highlighter. So this highlighter is the most affordable one I've tried that is available in South Africa, and also that works really well with my preferences. I don't like anything too glittery. I don't want it to be too subtle. I want it to be just like in the middle, like you'll be able to see the highlight, but not like bam in your face. So this one is obviously from Passion Pro, and it is in the shade Limelight, and this was 64.95, and it's a duo. So that's pretty good for what you get. I'm going to go ahead and use this one over here, and I'm going to use the orangey peachy one, which is my favorite. It blends in so nice with this blush as well. Just going to add it on the high points of the face, and as you can see, that is gorgeous. It's not too subtle, it's not chunky glitter, it's just the perfect amount of shine that I would like. But let's go ahead and quickly finish off the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and take the green and I'm going to run that all along my lower lash line, just leaning slightly forward in case we get any fallout. I'm just going to take the same brush and dip into the brown, and that I'm just going to place on the outer corner. There we go. And also just a little bit of mascara on my lower lash line. And then lastly, for an inner corner highlight, I'm just going to go ahead and, it doesn't appear this color on the inner corner though, but I'm going to grab this like minty green over here, and I just smudged my mascara. So I'm just gonna jump off camera and do my lips and wait for my mascara to dry, and then we can do the setting spray. Lastly, for setting spray, we have the Smudge Glow Spray for polished, long-lasting makeup wear. I have showed this on my shorts before, I think, or in that video, I'm not sure. It's really, really long-lasting. I did the eyeshadow test, and this was the only one that literally did not allow it to move. I only have like so little left in here, as you can see over there, and it does have like some shimmers through it, but this is really, really good and definitely my favorite setting spray. The spray is not the best, I'm not gonna lie, but I really do enjoy the actual product. So I'm gonna go ahead and just set my face. Sometimes it just like shoots out a big ball of product, and then it's not the best, and it can like leave a little dot on your face. So let's let that dry down. I'll give you a final look, and then we will outro this video. So this is a closer look at the finished makeup look. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Please do let me know if you've tried any of these products and what you think of them, and also some products that I haven't tried so that I can pop out and get them. Although this year is the year of conscious consumerism, so I'm trying to buy a lot less, like I've said before. But yeah, hopefully I can create some more videos like this and you guys will want to watch them. But other than that, that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. But other than that, that's it from me, guys. See you all next week. Bye.